Makes me fucking sick, this city. I love this city, but you can see all the pigs walking on the street from up here from my penthouse view. I've got this beautiful penthouse view, and you can look down at all the little piggies on the street, the fat little piggies of the city, eating up all the money and taking all my money and in taxpayers' dollars. They're taking all the taxpayers' dollars. That's why Mr. Trump's got this plan. He's got this plan set up. And I'll tell you, man, it's gonna work. If your refrigerator doesn't have the amount of ounces that you're getting in water, in pure water quality, my pipeline goes to Tahiti, it's fresh, it's quality water. But if your refrigerator doesn't have the amount of ounces, then you should make a better investment. Where was I? You know what I hate? I hate being interrupted by people. Especially people that are lower than me on the socioeconomic scale. If you're lower than me on the socioeconomic scale and you make less money than I do, and your wife doesn't have as big tits as mine, you don't have the right to interrupt me. My refrigerator keeps track of my perspiration levels. When I'm perspirating through my armpits or underneath my nutsack, I pick up the bill at dinner, alright? Protruding from my nutsack and my armpits, based on the amount of water I drink. I got a smart fridge. That's how it works. It's called a smart fridge. A good friend of mine, a good buddy of mine, he's actually Indian. He's an Indian man. He invented it. Indian. Good guy. I view myself as a little bit of a tiger, especially in the workplace. For the most part, I'm pretty self-made. It's a picture of my wife and I. Andy fucking Warhol drew that picture. 2 minutes left in the ball game. I got a good American football game on. Nothing like some good American football. I drink wine. I got a lot of money. The amount of leaking into my testicles. I had a sports hernia. I've had 2 sports hernias. I got a surgery on them, and it's all based on gastral fluidity. My wife's out of town. She's on some non-profit trip in the south of France. In the south of France, helping some African children. She asked me if I'd go, and I said I'll take a pass. You know why? Because the fucking Yankees are playing. The Yankees are playing. I can't miss a Yankees game. I was actually shark hunting with Andy Warhol about 3 or 4 months ago. But you know, we don't need to talk about that. Because there are other things to talk about. Like my fucking Yankees season tickets, and I watched Derek Jeter get his last one. I'll tell you, the amount of hipster fucks I saw at that campus. I'll tell you, I could have clocked one of them in the face. I wear Nike. I got Giuliani, I got Mr. Trump, and I've got a good friend of mine that my wife doesn't know about. I almost forgot about how much Nike I wear. I took a class on it 3 or 4 years ago at NYU. Bingo, you're set. I'll tell you, my cock's never felt better in a pair of sweats. This is my wine and champagne collection. Believe it or not, I didn't buy one of these bottles of wine. They're all gifts to me. He's a good friend of mine. I actually went sailing with him and his wife 3, 4, or 5 years ago. These are a collection of fine wines, and I had a wine expert come into the apartment the other day, and he told me the net value of these wines is actually north of $330,000, which is pretty impressive. Because my wife's fucking stupid, and she burns shit in the kitchen all the time because she can't cook. You ever look out into the city and think about how great it once was? Let's look at the cards in this house. See how many people like me, how many people went out of their way to send me a card. It's clear that I've been a pretty big influence on a lot of them because they went out of their way to send me this many cards, and I decorate my house with the cards because it means a lot to me. Because when I help people, to me, it proves how good of a person I am when I help them, and I'm cleaning up this city. I'm going to help clean up this city. My father fought in the Great War, actually, believe it or not. He was a worthless man. He really didn't amount to anything, but he did fight in the Great War, and I'll give him credit for that. Down their honor to fight for this country, you got to respect that. It's a very respectable thing. That's why I respect my father and everything that he taught me, even though for the most part I'm pretty self-made. I go to every Yankees game in town. I make sure I don't miss a single minute of action. I go to every Yankees in town because I'm self-made. And when you're self-made and you have the ability to live out your childhood dreams and go to every Yankees game and be on the board for the new stadium, for the most part, I'm pretty self-made. Be on the board with a plethora of other people on the new stadium and the grassroots of the new stadium and breaking ground. I've broken ground in New York, I've broken ground in Chicago, the second city, I've broken ground in LA, and I'll tell you, there are a lot of hogs in LA, there are a lot of disgusting looking women in LA that resort to very, very, very minimal things for low amounts of money. It's a scummy city, it's a very scummy city. I try to stay away from LA. It's a disgusting city. Well, I've got a personal thank you from Mr. Bush. He's a good friend of mine. He's actually was on the board to break ground on the new stadium with me. And we became pretty good friends. He's a good man. He's got good morals. All my friends have good morals. If you don't have good morals, then I usually I'm not friends with you. You know, when I was a kid, I was a fat fuck, and I drank a lot of sodas, and I ate a lot of candy and shit like that, and I realized very quickly that will never lead to success. Hawking it up with politicians and sports managers and owners and people who break ground